Hello and welcome once again in this new session where we are discussing most important topics related to geography. And in today's session, we will discuss about one of the important topic that comes under our disaster management. That is, what are the major factors or what are the major hurdles which are responsible for the slow economic activities in Jammu and Kashmir. So one by one, we will throw light on the various factors which are responsible for the slow economic development of the Jammu and Kashmir. The first and the foremost factor which is responsible for the slow economic development, or we can say that the slow economic growth of Jammu and Kashmir, is the poor road connectivity. As we all are aware about that besides other factors, the state, the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir, beg your pardon, is has a severe weather conditions. We often heard or we are aware about our national Srinagar Jammu National Highway, which remains frequently closed due to landslides and the severe weather conditions. Though we can say that it is a major factor for the underdevelopment of the Jammu and Kashmir, because for substantial period of time, considering in an year, the road remains closed, and as a consequence, the economic activities in and outside the Jammu and Kashmir that remains disrupted, and which often results in the slow pace of economic development of the Jammu and Kashmir. In addition to that, the second most important factor is illiteracy. You know, these are the two different terms, illiteracy and ignorance. You know, looking at the present context, the government of India has come up with several schemes or projects, we can say that, aiming at to upbring the economic activities or upbringing the income generation of the households. Or in particular, the state of Jammu, the bigger part of the government of Jammu and Kashmir has already pinpointed various schemes entirely run by the government of Jammu and Kashmir with a view to boost the economic activities at the ground level. But it has been observed that most majority of the population of Jammu and Kashmir, they are ignorant, they are illiterate, or we can say that they are unaware about the economic activities or the schemes or the projects which are aimed for the upliftment of the general population of the people. So we can say that The illiteracy and unawareness about these schemes and projects, it is a major cause for the slow economic development of the Jammu and Kashmir. In addition to these two factors, one more important factor which is considered a big hurdle in the slow pace of economic development of Jammu and Kashmir is the concerns about the security or the problems on the security side. As we already know that they without peace or without security, there always remains fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. So people are not taking the economic activities. They are because there is uncertainty. They are not taking up the business units because of uncertainty on the security side. So we can assume or analyze that it is obviously one of the major factor for the under growth or underdevelopment of the Jammu and Kashmir. So unless and until the issue of security and issue of uncertainty is resolved, they we cannot imagine the pace of development in Jammu and Kashmir in relation to the pace of development in other states of India. Now coming to the one other factor which is also responsible, that is the lack of industries and other major factories. We are acquainted well about the fact that Jammu and Kashmir had never been an industrial hub. There are no big industries. There is lack of industrial projects. There are no multinational companies. There are no other major companies with which we must assume that the Jammu and Kashmir will rise its economic potential. But in absence of these factories and other major industrial units, we can say that the development of Jammu and Kashmir is, if unforeseen entity. In addition to these factors, there are other several factors which are also responsible for the slow pace of economic development in the Jammu and Kashmir. So, but major factors which I have discussed, these are the major factors which must look at these factors and remember these factors so that we can develop our insight with regard to this topic. So I think it is alright for today's session, and tomorrow we will come up with next topic. Until then, take care. Good.